to another episode.
Come on, redo that.
No, I'm playing, bro. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Two Joes and a Pro. As always, is your host Kenny, Ryan, and Brian. I'm under the weather, so my energy is on.
Shocker.
It's on 80. It's not on 100, right? The vid circled back the wagon on me, so here we are. My guys, how y'all doing besides that?
I'm great.
Chilling, man. Man, I just yawned. You caught me in the middle of a yawn. Yeah, I'm good. I'm ready to go. We only got like 3 more weeks left till football.
Dude.
Till real football that matters.
Okay. Don't let my energy rub off on y'all, okay?
When does college start? College is before NFL.
Yes. So I think the first game of college is next. I think it's next Friday or Saturday, and then after that, the season starts after, like the official season.
I'm gonna get fired up.
Yeah, I geek out about college football. Like, college football is the best kind of football. It's better than the NFL. They play fucking harder than the NFL.
Okay, I thought we were gonna have a good conversation. Let's not get into it.
It is.
It is not.
Listen.
Better than the NFL.
Yes, it is.
Stop
Yes,
talking,
it is.
Kenny. Stop.
Yes, it
I'm not
is.
listening to you.
The reason why it's better than the NFL is because the players try way harder, right?
Okay,
college,
cool.
The only reason why NFL is good is because we get to do fantasy. That's the only reason. That's the only reason NFL is good.
That's not true. You know who's trying more than college players? High school players. You don't see me going to a high school game every night trying to put on high school games.
You crazy. High school players do not try. Half of their parents got them out there. They don't even want to fucking be there. They don't.
No.
What? They trying hard?
I was trying as hard as I could in high school.
You were trying your hardest, right? But that doesn't mean you were going to get there, right? It's a realization thing. Like, you actually have an opportunity at the D1 level. When you're in a high school, you don't really have an opportunity to get to the NFL. Like, it's just like, okay. You know the numbers. NCAA numbers, the commercials.
You think some of these guys in NCAA are trying hard? They're kings of their campus. They're just playing well enough to go get laid after the game. That's
a misconception too.
They're not kings. Everything's a misconception.
You know that half of like the universities, people don't like the NFL. I mean the football team, right? They don't like the football team because the football team has this persona of they think they're the shit. They can do
who's filling the stands? Who's going to the games? You don't like
that's dependent. Most of the time it's alumni. Alumni fills the stands. You gonna have student fans every now and then when the game's lit. But other than that, bro, like I know I'm giving you a realistic.
The reason here's the thing: are certain games more entertaining at the college level? Sure, but not bar none. Like, I'm not watching Temple versus Rutgers and like getting hype.
You're gonna cut deep like that. Okay.
Hey, so it's funny that you say that, right? Because nobody is watching New York Giants play any fucking game, so it doesn't even matter, right? Like, nobody cares besides Giants fans, right? Like, nobody's like, oh my god, the Giants are playing tonight, let's watch it. Nobody wants to watch the damn Giants, but Ryan. Nobody wants to watch it, right? So, like, what you're saying is subjective to it, right? Like, there's more college teams than NFL, so more people are going to watch the NFL teams because it's less teams to root for. So I got 32 compared to 120 something. Yeah, that makes more sense. But it's not more entertaining. It's not more entertaining to watch that when you watch the Giants.
Every game matters.
But does it? Because not all the players don't play like every game matters. Sometimes the guys play, and sometimes you can tell they send it in.
Well, actually, that statement's wrong. It's reverse. Not every game matters in the NFL, and I think that's why it's more entertaining. There's less teams. There's playoffs. There's a playoff that makes sense, not some freaking whack-ass playoffs with 4 teams that is essentially whoever they decide goes there. And then also, if you lose one game in college football, you're basically out of the running to get into the playoffs. Like,
that's if you have a shitty schedule. Don't have a shitty schedule, you don't have that problem. Most of those teams that lose one and they're out, they're not supposed to be there to begin with because they ain't playing nobody. Yeah, but all the teams that actually play somebody, when they lose one game, they still have a chance.
What you call a shitty schedule is not a shitty schedule to everybody. Just because it's always been like this. Anytime a team plays an SEC team, that game automatically is a harder game than if they play a Big 12 team. It doesn't matter who the opponent is. Oh, SEC, it gets a higher grade when it comes to their resume. That's by default, and it's unfair.
There's no difference than NFL. Like in the NFL, if you listen to NFL players when they talk about certain games on the schedule, they don't go on the schedule and say, "Oh man, we got to worry this week." Some games they're like, "Oh, that's easy. They trash. Who's gonna bust their ass?"
Yeah, but
that's
the
trash.
difference.
That's
NFL,
no
you
difference.
Make the playoffs based on your wins and losses. Your opponents don't really matter.
Your schedule is based on a comparison of who you like. If you finish second and you're playing AFC West, you're playing the second place team of the AFC West that next year. Like it's just theirs makes more sense because they try and make it right now.
It's 32 teams compared to 120.
And that's why I think it's better.
Plus.
It's too many.
It's not. When you get to the college playoff series, that shit is way more entertaining in my opinion than watching the first round of the NFL playoffs, right? Now, when it gets to division and it gets to conference championship and all, but last year was the only year I would admit that all the games were good. Besides one, the Tampa Bay Philadelphia game was trash. All the other games was very good.
Well, you forgot about the Patriots and Bills.
That was a bad game.
That was bad.
We had a good time. It was great to watch.
I was good with it. But
they got so stomped.
They got stomped the hell out. But no, I don't mean to take up the whole segment and the back and forth.
No, we're good. Sorry, my apologies, but NFL's better than college.
I didn't even know we were on a segment.
No, I'm saying
it was an impromptu debate.
It's an impromptu debate. It was supposed to be Ryan's time to take over football, but Kenny always wants to steal the show.
Yeah.
Right?
No, you're good. I love you.
Love you too, bro.
Hey, since we're talking, let's talk a little bit of NFL. Let's talk about what's his nuts. Oh, Derwin James. He's the highest paid safety in the NFL.
He
gets 4 years, $76.5 million. What do you think of that? How you feel about that? He is the tempo setter for that defense.
Bro,
thoughts?
He's the best safety in the league, in my opinion, as far as versatility, what he can do, what he does for the team. If he didn't get hurt, what was that? His
2019
second year? Yeah, if he didn't get hurt in 2019, it wouldn't even be a question. I think he goes on the radar a little bit because he was out for a year, so people forgot about him. But he came in the league running. He's a bona fide star, man. A star, a great player. He's a team guy. You don't really hear a lot about him, right? And he does a lot for the team. So I thought it was the right contract. They gave him his money, and I think it's going to pay off for him as long as he stays healthy.
It's a lot of money, though. It's a lot of money. It's $19 million a year.
That's a lot
for his position. I don't.
Okay.
I'm just saying, can he roll down and play in the box, and he can also play deep? Yes, he's very versatile. You're right, and he's probably the best safety in the league, so he deserves the highest for his position. But he surpassed what the highest amount was by a lot. I think the highest amount was maybe 14.
What for
safety? For safety, yeah. I mean, I don't know, but anyways,
no, Minka was 18.4.
Yeah, I was about to say Minka just got one.
Jamal Adams was 17.6. 16 for Harrison Smith, and Justin Simmons was 15. So he went above. He had $500,000.
Minka just got his, right?
Yeah, he was at 18.4. So
I didn't even realize Minka got that much. Oh, damn! I guess the safety market went up.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it.
You thought it was back in the day where Bill Belichick's paying 10 mil, 9 mil for a safety, or he just get 8 guys in there and pay them 1 mil each and have them play.
Yeah, did you say how everybody's contract value?
Yeah,
you already said that.
I just did the annual, the AAV, the annual value.
Because Minka's got 73.6 million, Duran's at 76.5, Jamal's at 70.5. Kevin Byard from Tennessee is at 70.5. Marcus Williams from Baltimore is at 70. So,
all right, I stand corrected.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. It's a lot of money, I think, for that position. But, hey.
It is 9.9% of their cap, though.
So, I I think the
It's
NFL's
smart on
banking
them.
on. I think they're banking on the cap going way up when the new TV deals hit. I think about
Probably.
24. Is that 24?
I mean, it popped up a lot this year.
24 or
It's
25.
going to keep going up.
It only popped up this year because they're finally done with the COVID cap.
Yeah.
So,
And then also, it's smart on them because they're about to turn around and have to pay Herbert in 2-3 years. So, like, this is kind of lining up. It's like, we might as well pay to win now. They're in a win now stance. Like, what happens when they have to pay Mike Williams? Or they just gave him a contract extension.
Yeah,
a little
Williams is
bit.
not going to be too much money. I don't think because he has a history. But Herbert, it's going to be costly. And I'd be surprised if they let it go to 5 years. Like, I won't be surprised if they give him a contract end of this year, next year. Like,
but I mean, the majority of their core is in their prime right now. They're like 27, 28 years old or older. You know, you look at Keenan Allen, you look at Mike Williams, Eckler. They're all like 27 plus. That's usually right in their prime. Khalil Mack is, I think, 30. I mean, Joey Bosa is getting up there in the late 20s.
yeah. But I think they already got their big contract. I don't see them getting another big contract. You know what I mean? We're just gonna stress the cap.
All
That's
I'm
what
saying
talking
is to say that you're saying they're in the win now mode. That's why. Like, these players in 3-4 years are going to be falling off.
Yep.
Because I mean, I'm sorry, age. You know, unfortunately in football, that's just the game, man.
Yeah, that's a valid point for sure.
Yeah, 30 is usually like that magic number of unless you're really great, you start to fall off.
Keenan Allen is 30 this year, so
Right,
we'll
but luckily he's just like a route tactician.
that's
He doesn't rely on flat out speed.
Yep.
You know, so he can be slower. He's gonna be more like a Larry Fitzgerald, where he can keep playing because he's just more about outsmarting his opponent. You know,
For sure.
so it's a different game for him.
We have a trade, fellas. We have a trade in the NFL. Blockbuster trade. Crazy. The Eagles have traded JJ Arcega-Whiteside to the Seahawks for defensive back Ugo Amadi.
Hey, I know who that is.
That's
Yeah,
the one that used to be at the Cowboys, right? No, that's different.
No,
he's a nickel corner.
That's a woozy.
Yeah, he played
I
last
think
year.
of a
Yeah,
woozy.
Uzi. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amadi's good though.
But
It's all right. I mean,
here's the thing.
My bad. He's okay.
Is that a good sign for? So initially I was like, oh, cool, that's a good sign for Jalen Reagor because he's on the roster bubble to make the team for the Eagles.
He's on a roster bubble.
Yeah, he's going into camp. He's like on the roster bubble because I mean they got AJ Brown, they got Devin White. They like
Devin White.
who's that guy that plays played quarterback and then
Just let it rock. Let's let it rock.
Okay,
AJ Brown. Who'd I say?
you said
said
Devin
Devin
White,
White.
who is a
Devin
linebacker.
Smith, Devontae Smith.
Yeah. But I
Yeah.
thought Jalen Rieger is still in his year. His
He is.
First
So
contract.
is
He's
so
a
is
first rounder,
JJ.
Yeah.
So is JJ.
I mean,
but
this
guy
guy,
that
JJ's
just
not a first
traded.
rounder.
I'm pretty sure he was.
yeah, he was a high pick. If he wasn't in first, he was a second.
Yeah, second, third, I can see that, but that's easier to let go than your first rounder. Because I thought that the Jalen Rieger pick, that was the same year as Justin Jefferson and all those. I think Justin Jefferson and Debo Samuels were in that same one as well, right?
It wasn't in Debo Samuel. That was N'Keal Harry.
Okay, my bad. Is it? But the Justin Jefferson was it?
He was a 2019 second round pick. JJ. But he had gained 12 pounds. He was trying to make the roster as a tight end this year.
Yeah, but he was not good out of Stanford anyway. So
Yeah, he
was a jump ball guy.
He gone. So there's that trade. Brian, I want to see if you can give me an update on what happened with Malcolm Butler. The Patriots, are skinny at the cornerback position, and they just got a little bit more skinny.
Yeah. So he's on the IR. He's out for the year.
What happened? Because I know when it came out, it was like undisclosed injury.
I want to say my gut tells me that it was performance based, and they were like being nice and saying, "Hey, we'll put you on the IR so you can get your money," like type deal.
Okay.
I don't think he really is hurt. I think he just was washed because he looked like garbage in that preseason game. The fact that he was playing in that preseason game because the Patriots didn't play any starters other than I think Cole Strange on the line. Like that was like the only starter that they played, and that's because he's a rookie. So Malcolm Butler was not going to be a starter on the Patriots. They probably think he's cashed, that he got what they call the Foxborough flu.
Yeah.
That's what they do. They do it to rookies sometimes too, and they redshirt them, essentially. They'll put them on the IR for the year. It happens all the time. It happened to Ronnie Perkins last year.
Well, there was another trade that happened last week as well, but it ended up not going through. The Dolphins were trying to trade Adam Shaheen to the Texans.
Don't start.
And he failed his physical. So now he's going back to the Dolphins.
They'll just cut him.
Yeah. They were trying to get some. Never mind. What is it? Oh, Kenny, actually educate us. What does a physical entail?
It's a lot, man. It depends.
Turn your head cough?
No. It depends. I remember when we went up there, the physical was like of course they're gonna check everything. The bone scans gonna check your heart. They do like blood, like a blood drawn, and they threw it in a little spiral, and they check every little thing, make sure you have nothing wrong with you. And like little things kind of trigger things. If you have like medical history, bad knees, ankles, back, whatever the case may be, they're gonna check those specific injuries and make sure it's still not lingering. Or if they see anything, then they can flag it and say, okay, cool, he didn't pass the physical. Or you have to do different little mobility drills, stuff like that. And if you don't hit those parameters, same thing, flag. So,
all right, I'm gonna give a little bit of fantasy football advice, just real quick. If you have any players that are on the Seahawks, and you like to listen to Pete Carroll speak about his players, whatever he says, do not listen to him. He is just blowing smoke up your ass. He speaks positive about everybody, every situation, and it's all a lie. He came out, Kenneth Walker comes out, he's like, oh, this dude looks amazing. One day he was like, he looks amazing. The next day he's like, he's injured. Don't worry, he's just nervous. It's nothing serious. It's not going to be a procedure. The day after, a report comes out that he's getting sports hernia surgery, and he's gonna be week to week. but don't worry, Pete Carroll said he'll be ready for week 1. All I'm saying is,
that's not true.
Get Rashad Penny ready, because he's gonna be the running back until Kenneth Walker comes in. But you can't trust this man. He was the same way with Chris Carson. He was the same way with like any running back that's been on that team.
Minor neck injury, boy, done for his career. Like, what?
Yeah.
He kept saying it's minor. He should be back in a couple weeks. Minor. It's just being precaution.
It's just
take a precaution.
You know what? And I'm going to give that advice to you guys because Kenny has fallen for it before, and I don't want it to happen to you guys.
But I like Pete Carroll. I'm an SC guy, so I trust him.
I would love playing for him if I was like a player because he's so positive, but like he's never going to say anything bad. He's not going to tell you how it is. All right. I'm so surprised that we're still in the dark about the Deshaun Watson stuff. Like the NFL hasn't made a decision yet. So I don't know what they're dragging their feet on.
I don't know if they know. Back to court.
Yeah, but they have to. The NFL has to make a decision. So like, is he suspended 6 games or is he playing?
I thought he was just. Meaning like what they already said.
Because they're appealing his 6-game suspension.
So does he have to serve that? I got you.
So does he have to serve that? He can play in the preseason. I'm pretty sure.
I think that because they appealed it, that it's just like if he appealed it, where you get to play until the appeal is final.
Sure.
That's the
way it is. Who knows how long that takes.
So with that being said, how does that skew the quarterback ratings that we did for fantasy?
It doesn't skew mine. It skews yours because I'm pretty sure you had him in number 5, right? Didn't you? You had him up there.
No, I didn't have him at number 5. I said if he plays, that changes, but he's not number 5 on my list.
It doesn't change mine. He can play all year. It doesn't change mine. He's going to be knocking off some rust. Like,
he didn't look good in preseason. But the first game, right? It's a Jaguars, so I'm expecting him to tear him up.
He'll be somewhere between like 12 and 18.
Quarterback?
Yeah.
If he plays the whole season?
Yeah.
No. 12 and 18. I know he got knocked off Russ, but come on. There's not 12 quarterbacks better than him in the league.
He'll be top 10.
Yeah, like he'll be top 10.
It'll be back end.
That's him. That's what he does, though. He just throws the ball a ton. I know they're gonna run it with Nick Chubb, but
I was gonna say he's gonna be putting on a team that isn't playing from behind all the time either. He's not gonna have to throw it 50 times.
That's a valid point.
You know what I mean?
But he's still gonna toss it. They're not giving him all the money in the bank for him to hand the ball off all the time. That's not happening.
I know, but they're giving him the money to actually make the throws when they need it, which is what the last guy couldn't do. That's why they gave him the money.
Just to make the throws.
Well, that's the difference between winning and losing.
There was only one real major injury from preseason, and that was Zach Wilson running for a first down, and he gets a bone bruise. He escaped an ACL injury. It was non-contact.
Yeah, he tore his meniscus, dude.
I thought it was only a bone bruise.
It was a bone bruise and a torn meniscus.
Yes. It wasn't fully torn. They just had to shave a little bit of it.
Yeah. Oh, so it's not that bad. But they said he might be ready for. He's only going to miss 4 or 5 weeks.
It's not that bad, Pete.
Yeah. No, I thought they said he might be able to get back for week 1.
No, they're already looking at Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco will be number 1, week 1.
We're all over the place today, guys.
Listen, all I gotta say is you bet the Ravens week 1 to win.
Yeah.
Take the spread for the Ravens in week 1. I don't even care what the spread is. They're gonna smash them.
Speaking of the Ravens, Lamar Jackson, I may not like him as a QB prospect, because of his inconsistencies, but I like his attitude. He set a week 1 deadline. He is not doing contract talks during the year because he's all business. He's just about winning games. I mean, I would build my team around a guy like this. I would do exactly what Harbaugh's doing. Turn your offense. All right, we're not going to throw that much. We're going to run the ball. I love this man, but I think that's awesome of him that he's not going to do contract negotiations throughout the year. He's going to, once week 1 starts, he's putting it off to the offseason, and he showed up for everything during the preseason and everything. So,
and he's doing it himself.
Yeah,
he's doing the negotiation himself, which is smart for any future NFL player. Yeah, to do it himself, so you don't have to get the agent all the fees and shit like that. You can negotiate your own contracts. There's enough guys that have done it numerous of times that can take you through. All you need is a lawyer to look at things over, and that's good. You save yourself paying all the fees. You get a marketing agent to do everything else for you, and you're good. So,
all right, I think that is it.
My question for you: how much money do you think you should get?
More than Kyler Murray.
I think he should get what the market says for a top quarterback.
Doesn't Kyler Murray, isn't his contract more than Patrick Mahomes?
Let's see.
Average per year?
I think so, yeah. AAV, I think so.
AAV is... Nope, Rodgers has the highest AAV with 50. And then it's Kyler with 46. Deshaun Watson with 46.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes with 45. And Josh Allen with 43. They got a steal with Josh Allen.
They got to steal with Patrick Mahomes. That's what they got to steal for.
Well, yeah, they did because they got that. They got him at 45 and they get him for 10 years. So
10 years. You know what I mean? You got to steal. So.
Let's see what else we got. Oh, the highest cap hit this year for a quarterback is Ryan Tannehill at 38.6 mil.
Woof.
Cap hit. And then Patrick Mahomes at 35. And then I bet you'll never guess. So top 2 are Ryan Tannehill, Patrick Mahomes. Can you guess the other 3?
Carson Wentz and Matt Ryan.
They're up there. What?
Not cap hits.
Oh, cap hit. Well.
Because you got to remember the money. It's people towards the end of their contract. Yep.
Kirk Cousins. Yeah.
Kirk Cousins is at 31. He's third.
Sam Darnold?
No, Jared Goff.
Jared Goff.
Oh,
Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Who was the fifth?
Rodgers at 28 mil.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that total cash this year, I think the highest is Brady. I think I saw it was like almost 80 million. Like
Total
cash. Yeah. So it's not cap. It's like.
Yeah, no, I know. Like they gave him a big ass signing bonus.
Brady doesn't look like he's there. It's total. Just at least 2022 quarterback rankings. Total cash on Spotrac is Matt Stafford at $61.5 million.
I guess I'll have to check my sources.
Yeah, your sources is
telling you. It was on the internet, man. So I think it was real.
It was a Facebook post.
It had some...
Brady is high. Well, he's just highest on career earnings. That's the only thing I've seen his name on.
Just because he played
$332 million.
And that's not even as much as he could have earned. Like
yeah. And Rodgers is behind him in second at 305 mil. And then Stafford at 300 mil. Then Matt Ryan and Russell Wilson.
But those guys play way less years than Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers not so much, but Matthew Stafford and those guys play less years. Anyway.
Dude, Deshaun Watson's contract is ridiculous. Everything's guaranteed. He had guarantees at signing $230 million guaranteed at signing. His 3-year cash is $137 million. All right, I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop. But hey, I'm gonna need you to tell Matt Rule to stop having his players fight the Patriots players in practice. All right. And then
I'm glad you brought that up.
Oh, let's hear it.
I found something on the internet. I thought it was funny.
It's got to be true too.
No, it's a parody account on Twitter. It's Simon Charles. He just does funny shit. So, anyways, he actually tweeted about the fights, and he said, Mac Jones just went up to Brian Burns following a long touchdown pass to Tyquan Thornton and said, quote, "Hold my nuts, little bitch," end quote, which led to a massive brawl at Patriots camp. Obviously that was fake, but they have been fighting every single day, which is crazy. There's
That's the
actual
Temple way, bro.
What's that?
That's the Temple way. Always have fights in camp.
Yeah,
that's when it changed at the Carolina Owls, the Temple Panthers. Like, that'll make a difference.
I mean, it's crazy. I know. Yeah, I mean, I know. Like back in the day, Bill used to like have players actually start fights, but they were on their own. It was on the same team. Like back in like the early 2000s, he had this guy named Chad Eaton start a fight at camp to get the guys riled up to start playing better, like so that they would be cohesive as a team.
This guy's sick, man.
Yeah. So I mean,
bro's only on the roster to get in fights.
Yeah, he was just a backup D tackle, and that was his job.
What we got for baseball?
Oh man, baseball. The Yankees blow. but no, seriously, they've been playing awful baseball. But they're gonna make the playoffs because they were so far ahead. It doesn't matter. But they have been 2-8 in their last 10. Not very good.
Just chilling, bro.
They're just chilling. But anyways, they're still 9 games up in the East. Like I said, they're not going to lose that. So anyways, then the other surprise in the AL is Cleveland has taken the first place in the Central. They're now a half game ahead of the Twins and 1 game ahead of the White Sox. So that team continues to surprise me. I keep saying it every single week.
That name change.
Huh? The Cleveland Guardians? Is that what I said?
It's the name change that did it.
The name change that did
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, watch out for the Commanders
culture.
this year, guys. Watch out for the Commanders this year.
If they had a bit of different quarterback, maybe. Anyways, the West still Houston. They're going to control that throughout the year as well. So no change there. National League, Mets are still 3.5 up on Atlanta. The Central, St. Louis is still leading Milwaukee. But Milwaukee has started to play a little bit better. They're more around 500 team late in the last 10 instead of losing almost every single game. And then the Dodgers they're just taking the West by storm. So nobody's going to compete with them. The closest team's 16.5 games back. The Dodgers could play all their bench players and they'd still win enough games to win their division. So
how many games are left for the Dodgers?
So they played 115. So that means it's 162. So whatever the math is, 47.
Yeah. Yep.
Do players start getting rested, like pitchers specifically, or because I know? So it's a twofold question because I know baseball is a streaky sport, like it's hot streaks, cold streaks, kind of like basketball. So like, do they want to do that with players? Like start resting them?
It depends. If you got guys that aren't used to pitching as much as they have been this year, you might slow them down a little bit, for a couple weeks and then gear them back up at the end of the season to get them ready for the playoff push. But the other thing is September, the rosters expand in baseball. Excuse me. So they'll be able to call up, I don't remember what it expands to. I'm not sure if it's the full 40 or if it's just like a few additions. Like right now it's like 26 and then it either goes up to 30 or 40. I can't remember specifically. But basically that'll give them more opportunity to rest guys and they'll probably go to like 6-man rotations in their starters instead of 5, stuff like that, just to give them an extra day here and there. So yeah, rest does happen, but like you said, Ryan, you don't want them to get cold either.
Yeah, they gotta. When do they stop changing their underwear? They gotta wear their lucky underwear and socks.
Who knows?
When do they stop shaving?
That's hockey.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Shut up, Kenny. You don't have a superstition when you played?
Yeah,
you would sniff your jockstrap before every game.
No, I'm superstitious a lot, but I didn't, wear. First of all, I didn't wear jockstrap, so I wore girdle, so I didn't do all that. Yeah,
5-piece.
I wore a jockstrap one time, and that shit was so uncomfortable.
Yeah, I always wore a girdle.
Yeah, I did that at Penn State, and it was cold as hell outside, and the grass was actually wet, so that was my ass was freezing, like literally, ass is freezing. I know that's TMI. Sorry, everybody.
Did you wear a cup, Brian?
No, I never did.
Yeah, nobody wears a cup.
Who wears? I could tell.
So it's hard to hit a small target. So, anyways, listen. One other thing on baseball, real quick. The Walker Buehler, the Dodgers' best pitcher, is out for the season. He got either shoulder surgery or elbow. I think shoulder because it wasn't Tommy John, and that's usually when it's elbow surgery, it's Tommy John. But yeah, so that was kind of a big blow to them. But luckily, they're so friggin' stacked that it probably won't matter. They'll probably still be in the World Series.
Somebody else step up.
Yeah, like they're loaded. They got talent all up and down the roster. So, I mean, whatever. So basically, that's it, man. I mean, for now. Yeah. So.
I would say I don't have anything. In NBA, I would say shout out to Draymond Green. I know him and his wife got married either a couple days ago.
Wow, that's what it's come down to?
No. I only said that because the wedding looked lit. Everybody named Mama was there. And, Jason Taylor was in there.
Where were two Joes in pro?
Yeah.
Where we at?
It was it was a California function.
Kenny, you got to get us an invite. You got to get us an invite to these places. We need to go to some parties. Let's go to Temple.
If we were seen at that party, we'd have been flagged.
Let's go to Temple. Let's go.
They were having it the California way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
There
was plenty of cigars.
For sure.
With a special herb.
Yeah, it was it.
They were flavored.
Yeah. So no, but that was it. I'm looking forward to college football. I know Ryan tried to hate on us, college football guys, but that's going to be really interesting, man.
I like watching college football.
Yeah.
Going to a game.
I'm really interested to see what they do with the playoffs. They still haven't talked about whether they're going to expand the playoffs to 8 teams or not. I think that would be good.
They should.
Do 8 teams. 8 teams would be good. I don't like when it gets to 12 and all that. I think that's just you're gonna run the guys thin a little bit, just because realistically, outside of 8, the 12 teams they just had a good year.
Any given Saturday.
No, it's not really though. It's not really like
or
once
Friday.
it goes past 8 is very unlikely, right?
I would go top 10, give the top 2 teams a bye.
I can see that too. That would be good.
That's as far as I would go.
Yeah.
I like that. Hey, look, it takes out the subjectiveness of power rankings in terms of like
the power rankings really don't really mean too much right now either, because it still has to go to the CFP and they still have to vote and things like that. Because you'll see somebody that's on the AVP or the AVP or the coaches poll, right? And you're like, okay, well, this guy was ranked number 3, but how in the CFP they're number 5? Because they're like, well, technically he plays in like Cincinnati, right? Cincinnati was like number 5 or 6, even though they were ranked number 4 in the country at the time. It's like, how? Well, when you look at the schedule, that's when what you said earlier, your point earlier about the who you play that comes into factor. So I feel like Brian's point, like 8 or 10, good. Everybody gets in there. Let the best person win, right? So, but other than that, college football starts next Saturday, and then after that, it'll be Thursday games after that. So BK Bets will be live in full effect. We'll have things going. I told my cousin, he's like, man, are y'all gonna win any money this year? I said, yeah, the goal for BK Best is to win 10 grand. That's our goal this year. 10 grand. 10 grand. 10 grand. 10,
off a 10 grand bet?
No.
10 grand over. Come on, think about it. We have.
You do $100 on a 3-team parlay, you could win 1,000.
700.
So
Well,
you want to be 10 grand in the green?
Oh yeah, odds.
You want to be in the green.
On the odds. Yeah. No, we're gonna be in the green for sure. But no, I want to. If we win 10 grand, that means over the season, right?
We'll win. We'll be in the green 10 grand.
Yeah, as far as profitability wise, a percentage, like we won 70% of the time. We should be in that, right?
All right.
Because if you win 700 and you lose 100, you're still up 6, right? So.
Any news on Maryland sports betting? So I can do it on my phone. I don't have to go to the casino because I haven't seen anything.
They still haven't passed it yet. So
yeah,
they got 3 weeks.
Yeah,
they're not going to do it.
Yeah,
turn it on. That's all I want.
I don't want them to turn it on. I don't need that. I need to go in. So I'm lazy, right? So if I have to do it on my phone, that's a lot of money that's gone, right? So
or it's a lot of money that's won.
Exactly, Kenny.
No, because what you do when you have to go into the sports book,
full, Kenny.
when you have to go to the sports book, you actually think about the bet you're about to play. When you're on your phone, you get the impulse. Oh my God, I'm looking at the game. I think because in-game bets, when you look at, oh my God, look at this team, they're getting beat. And you bet, and then next thing you know, it changes. You're like, fuck, like I don't do that. It's whatever. But that's how I know. That's supposed to be for BK bets. I'm supposed to say that later, but I put it in ahead of time. So, but no, we're looking forward to that. Me and Brian's gonna have some shit for you. I know Ryan's gonna do his part in fantasy and kill it. So yeah.
Right. September 1st is the first college game, by the way.
No. The 27th.
I was just looking on my phone. I said September 1st.
Saturday, August 27th. 27th.
Oh, you know what?
Nevada.
It's
little games, not big games.
Yeah, I was looking at the top 25. You know, the teams that matter.
Yeah, wow. Thursday, September 1st is going to be, top 25. Oklahoma State play, Pittsburgh play. But guess what? It doesn't matter about the top 25 because as long as you can bet, you can make money, right? Surprisingly, you can get a lot of those good games. They got little spreads and you win. But anyway, that's all I have for the college. So we can get straight into this is our last week, right? Our last week for
that ends
the fantasy. Yeah,
sure.
So this is our last week for the fantasy. Roundup. We kind of covered all the teams previously. If you guys haven't tracked already, go look at our previous episodes. We touched on the quarterbacks, the running backs, the wide receivers. Today we're going to touch on the tight ends. So let's get straight to it. Who you guys' top 5 tight ends?
Can I get mine?
Yeah, go
ahead.
All right.
You're the guru.
All right, fine. That's right. I am. You're right.
Don't make his head any bigger than it has to be.
You right. I'm that. That's who I am. I'm
all
good.
Right. Number 1, it's my man, Mark Andrews. He's a big target. Lamar Jackson likes to throw to him because he's got a huge catching radius and it plays over the middle. And Lamar throws better in the middle of the field. You can't make the argument, Kenny, I don't care what you say. This dude has been top 5 the last couple of years, and he finally took over Travis Kelce.
Bro, he's not. Okay.
You could argue with me after. My number 2 tight end. My number 2 tight end is going to be Travis Kelce. I don't think he's going to have. Eventually, he's going to hit his cliff, and his cliff was last year when he went from tight end 1 to tight end 2 in the leagues. So I think he's going to be the tight end 2. The third player I have is, I think George Kittle is going to have a healthier year. Last year, he played really well last year. If you look at like points per game, he was 4th in points per game with 14.1 in PPR. He just was injured. He was on and off the field, in and out of the field. He's a tough guy. I think he's going to play well, and he's going to have a bounce back year this year. That is my number 3. Number 4, I think Kyle Pitts is the only thing that the Falcons have on offense to throw the ball to. And he was a freak athlete. And for him to do what he did last year as a rookie, tight ends, rookies don't do well in fantasy football, period. That's it. And then my 5th player is going to be, just because I want to piss Kenny off, because I know he likes Darren Waller, I'm going to pick Dalton Schultz. Dak just loves him. Dak loves this guy, and there's a lot of vacated targets in the Cowboys offense, and he got a ton of the targets last year, and he's only going to get more. And Minion agrees with me. He's also getting messed with. But yeah, Dalton Schultz, number 5. And I would argue that I probably have Dalton Schultz a little lower than what he should be. All right, hit me, Kenny. Let's go.
So first of all, Mark Andrews is not going to be number 1, right? I say Mark Andrews.
Yeah, he's never done it before.
I didn't say he hasn't done it before, but just because you do it, you're an outlier doesn't mean that's going to be the norm, right? So Travis Kelce, if you haven't realized, Tyreek Hill's gone, right? And you think Patrick Mahomes digressed? No, he has not. So who's he going to go through? He's going to still throw to a security blanket. Who is the number 2? Who's the number 2 up there? Do you know?
Yeah.
Juju Smith-Schuster? That's the number 2?
Yeah.
But
guess what, Kenny? That's a good reason for Travis Kelce to actually go down, because he's going to face a lot of double coverage.
No, it's not because of the routes
people don't
he
want
runs.
to take him out.
The routes that he runs are way different, right? He runs a lot of choice routes. That's different than what Mark Andrews runs, right? Mark Andrews runs a lot of deep over. He runs a lot of outs. He runs a lot of hooks, right? That's different than what Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce, he runs a lot of short routes, right? So I'm talking about PPR, right? We're talking about catches, right? He's going to get a lot of those, right? He's going to get a lot of options. That's what I'm saying in that. Patrick Mahomes is still going to throw the ball no matter what. That's what I'm saying as far as points. Is he going to have as many touchdowns? I don't know, because Tyreek Hill is not there to clear the top. But what I'm saying, he's still going to get to the end zone, right? But when you think about Mark Andrews compared to Travis Kelce, the Ravens are going to run the ball more, right? And then people know what Mark Andrews is going to do, so he's going to get the double teams more, right? And I think that, Rashad Bateman, he's going to have a bigger year because everybody's going to double team on Mark Andrews for sure. So in my opinion, I think Travis Kelce is going to be number 1.
Who were they double teaming last year? You can't double team a guy if the quarterback is a threat to run the ball every time.
Exactly.
Listen. I hear what you guys are saying. I hear what you guys are saying, but what did I tell you happens every year? Once a guy exposes a defense, right, for one way, they make sure the next year they eliminate him from doing that same thing. So they will probably let Lamar go off and like, oh, choose somebody else. We're not going to let Mark Andrews beat us because we know he's his prime target. And as long as they have a good front 7, they have a good opportunity of doing that, right? Just stopping the run. So they're like, all right, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to attack by taking away the tight end and let Lamar throw it to another receiver. But we're not going to let Mark Andrews beat us. That's the thought process behind it. Just because of how bad he killed him last year. Right, and how bad not one person can guard him, so you can't just put one person on him. So with that being said, that's what they're going to take away. They're going to take away something, right?
He had 300 fantasy points last year. if he goes down to 210 fantasy points, he's the number 3 tight end from last year.
Okay.
Actually,
What's your point?
he would be the number 2 tight end. There was only one other player. Like, that's what I'm saying. He could still regress, like you're saying, and be worse this year and still be the number 1 tight end.
I just said that he's not going to be number 1. I never said he can't be number 2. I said he's not going to be number 1. Do I think he's going to be number 2? No, I think Darren Waller's going to be number 2. No, I'm playing with you. He's going to be the number 2. I know he's going to be number 2 because I don't like Kyle Pitts, Marcus Mariota. Okay, I digress. I do think that Dalton Schultz is going to be number 3. I have George Kittle as being number 4, and I got Mike Gesicki being number 5.
Oh,
right? And I know you're gonna be like, "What the fuck?" And like, I got him being number 5 only because I like Tua, man. I really like Tua, and I think they're gonna sling the ball around. Everybody thinks they got a stable.
That guy hasn't slung it anywhere.
Listen. Everybody thinks they have a. Everybody thinks they have a stable back there. They do not have a stable like people think, right? So with that being said, they're going to throw the ball around a lot, right? I think Tua is going to go back into his college bag, right? And he's going to toss the pill around, right? And I think that when you talk about fantasy numbers as far as rankings, I think Gesicki has the opportunity to be number 5, right? I don't really like Kyle Pitts. That's not really like my type of guy. And Darren Waller is. I think he's going to be on the outside. I think he still is productive, right? But I don't think he's going to be better than George Kittle. So that's me.
The thing you got to think about with Kyle Pitts is you're essentially getting a wide receiver at the tight end position. Like in terms of whatever.
It's Atlanta. It's Atlanta.
Yes,
it's Atlanta.
He led the league last year for the tight end position in yards per reception. Like, he was getting the ball deep down the field. He's not going to get with Matt Ryan.
Okay,
but you think
you think Mariota?
No, but here's the other thing. He doesn't get negative points for interceptions. Marcus Mariota could be trash, but if they're like, listen, you're the only player on the offense, guess what? DeAndre Hopkins was out there playing well with like 8 different backup quarterbacks in Houston. Allen Robinson did well with like Blake Bortles and the trash quarterbacks in Jacksonville. Like, players can do well if they're the sole weapon on the offense. And if Marcus Mariota is going to throw the ball, he's only got 1 target to throw to. And it's a security blanket in the tight end position. Those are easy targets, considerably.
So what the thing is you're not realizing is this. I told you before, if you are good at something, if that person is your only strong point, you're going to eliminate them and say, beat us with somebody else. That's what defensive coordinators are going to do, beat us with somebody else. What did Blake Bortles was trash, right? But it had Leonard Fournette, who was a bull in the backfield, right? Don't make it seem like Atlanta has nobody to do that. Atlanta has nobody.
Patterson, bro.
Come on, stop it. Stop it.
That's your boy.
Stop it. I get it, but Cordero Patterson is not Leonard Fournette running in the backfield, right? No. Like, yeah, he's an option gadget. He can do things like that. But you're not going to get that same level of productivity. Like, I get it, Ryan. You're going to say, listen, this is the numbers from last year. Last year and this year ain't the same, right? It's not the same thing.
You're right. Kyle Pitts was 6th at the position last year, and he's going to be higher.
But people are saying that based off of the assumption that he's going to get the same opportunities that he did last year, or maybe more. But what I'm telling you is every year I play football, if a team killed us the year before, we look at what they were good at doing, and we said, all right, they're not going to beat us doing that. They might beat us, but they're not going to beat us doing that. So with that being said, that's going to be the same philosophy that defensive coordinator is going to take in there. Kyle Pitts is not going to beat us. Somebody else has to beat us. That's what I keep making that point, because that's going to happen, right? Some games he's going to get off. Yes, I agree. Some games is going to happen. He's not a bad player. He's going to get off. But as far as him getting all these targets as if they're going to leave him one-on-one, it's not going to happen when they don't have anybody else. That's it.
Russell Gage, 94 targets last year. Gone. Like, Mike Davis, 58 targets last year. Gone. These targets, they didn't bring anyone else into that offense. I don't care if he only catches 70% of his targets. If he's getting 150 targets in a game in a season, he's gonna do well. I want that player on my fantasy team.
Targets, bro.
He had 110 last year. You saying he can't go up 40?
No, he's not getting 40 more targets. He's not getting 40 more targets.
94 left the offense.
So you think since 94 less the offense, they're gonna give a 50% to him? That doesn't work like that, bro.
Well,
It doesn't
94
work like
from
that.
one player. I'm sorry, just for Russell Gage. If I add the other 58, that's like 150.
This is not backyard football. Coaches are not going to say, "Hey, guess what, bro? We lost guys. We're just going to throw the ball to Kyle Pitts. It doesn't matter what you guys do. Throw it to Kyle Pitts." People are not doing that. This is not backyard football. This is the NFL, right? The best league. This is the NFL, right? So, like, with that being said, they're not going to do that. Like the 94s, he might get 110 again, but those other 94, they're going to either disperse them, or guess what? It's going to be more run plays. It's not going to be like, oh, Kyle Pitts, you can get 150 targets. Like, that's not happening. Not with Marcus Mariota. Matt Ryan, yeah, he might get 20 more, but not with Marcus Mariota.
You act like Matt Ryan was like lights out last year.
I didn't say he was lights out, but he throws the ball way better than Marcus Mariota. Let's be for real. Marcus Mariota runs. Matt Ryan does not run.
Matt Ryan takes more deep shots down the field, and Kyle Pitts is going to get more checkdowns from Marcus Mariota because he's going to be a security blanket, running routes closer to the line of scrimmage. And every time he catches the ball, I'm just going to be like, point.
How many catches did Jonnu Smith have when Marcus Mariota was at quarterback?
Well, what are you asking?
I'm just saying, because Marcus Mariota doesn't. Yeah, Marcus Mariota doesn't check down. That's what I'm saying. You make it seem like he's this check down guy. He doesn't check down.
You'd have to look at Delaney Walker because that was technically who was the top. I thought
Jonnu Smith was there his year.
He was there, but he was the number 2 tight end.
Okay, so
it was Delaney Walker's show.
Delaney Walker was a top tight end.
Yes, he was. He was a top fantasy tight end with Marcus Mariota at quarterback.
What?
Mariota's best year was 2016.
Okay.
He had 26 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. 2016 Titans. Can't believe I'm looking this up for you.
I hope you look it up. Because you're making it seem like Marcus Mariota just checks down like he's damn.
Delaney Walker had 102 targets, 800 yards, and 7 touchdowns. You give 102 targets and he was second in targets. The first in targets was Rashad Matthews. So Drake London can have that. And then if you give over 100 targets to my man, he's going to do well.
You said that he's going to get 40 more because 94 left.
I was giving an example.
And I said, I don't do examples. I'm telling realistic facts. 100 targets is, but not 150. That's my point.
But the offense stayed the same. Mariota was in a different offense when he was playing for the Titans. He is going, if they throw the ball the same amount that they threw last year, he is going to have at least 140, 50 targets.
No offensive coordinator takes the same game plan that he had from before with a different quarterback. He's going to look to his strong points, and that's how they're going to play. They're not going to say, hey, guess what? We let Matt Ryan throw the ball a shit ton of times. Guess what, Marcus Mariota? You're going to have to do the same thing. Like, that's not happening.
You're right, Kenny. That's how it's going to start. And then they're going to realize, shoot, once they hit a little bit of adversity, what do coaches do? They go back to their bread and butter, what they know best. They go back into tendencies.
All right. I'm done. All right, I'm done.
Thanks, Kenny. All right, I win.
All right,
Brian, let's hear it.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, we're still doing over this.
Yeah, is it still the great debate?
Oh, I get to go. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you got 7 minutes. So
7 minutes to go,
bruh. All right, so I'm giving this man bad luck already because I'm pretty sure that the top tight end has never repeated as the top tight end. But I do think Mark Andrews is the number 1 tight end to go after.
You're fake. Kelce. You're lying, right? Travis Kelce was top tight end like 3 or 4 years in a row.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Maybe it was touchdowns then. Maybe it was like
2019, 2018.
Yeah, maybe I'm thinking of something.
2017.
He's all state.
Okay. 2016. So from 2016 to 2020, he was the number 1.
Hey, Ryan, what he meant is I don't think anybody has repeat besides Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, but I like Mark Andrews this year, and because I'm really high on Lamar for fantasy purposes as well. So I just think that the pair, they're going to go off this year. I also like Rashad Bateman. I think the Ravens are going to be very good this year. So I think there's going to be a lot of target opportunities for both Mark Andrews and Rashad Bateman. So I think he's going to have a similar year to last year. Maybe not 300 points, but
Brian's going to have to overdraft Lamar Jackson this year.
Yeah, I'm totally overdrafting Lamar Jackson.
You have to.
I'm like on board with Lamar. Okay.
Why are you overdrafting?
Because he knows any draft he's in with me or with you, he's going to have to overdraft because he's going to be like, I'm not going to pick. Kenny's going to pick twice. Ryan's going to pick twice. There's no way he's second round. He's picking Lamar. No, just kidding.
No,
he wouldn't do
maybe
that.
Maybe the third, but no. I'm just saying, man. I don't know. I just have a feeling. I get gut feelings and I go with it. Okay. So, anyways, I'm on the Ravens train this year. Okay.
All right. Keep going.
But anyways, number 2, I got Dalton Schultz.
Oh my God, y'all being disrespectful. All right, keep going.
Here's what.
No, Brian hates this man.
Oh, the non-blocking tight end? Yeah, he don't block.
He hates Travis Kelce. So
that's just a wide receiver.
Disregarded.
Oh, man. No, I really think that Kansas City's offense is not going to be as good this year. I think as a team, they're going to take a step back. And I think that's going to coincide with Travis Kelce taking a step back. So he will be the number 3 tight end this year. He's going to step back one more position. And then number 4, I've got Kyle Pitts because, like, I agree with Ryan. Like, he's going to get more targets this year. I'd be willing to say he's getting at least 130 targets, Kenny. At least. Barring injury. Okay? He's going to get fed. Atlanta's going to go with what? They're going to go with their best player. Their best player is Kyle Pitts.
Targets, how is he not going to be? Why is he not number 2? If he's getting all that targets and he's going to get fed, why is he not number 2?
Oh, because I don't think Marcus Mariota is a very accurate quarterback. So he's going to get the targets, but I don't know if the production is going to equal out. And scoring opportunity is going to be very low. I'm big on touchdowns. Yeah. And then number 5 is going to be my boy, who I've always loved ever since he came in the league, was George Kittle. Yeah, I just think that he's going to be a security blanket for Trey Lance. And like Ryan said, the guy's a beast. If you give him a great or a good quarterback, he's easily like the best tight end in the league, in my opinion.
You just got to stay healthy.
Yeah, and of course, health is always a big factor. But
he runs so hard that he could.
But
to take his knees out.
I just don't believe in. I don't believe in Trey Lance though, and that's why I have him at 5. If I thought Trey Lance was going to be the real deal, he probably would be my number 2 tight end. I think Trey Lance is a real deal.
I think
we don't know.
I like what Kyle Shanahan, him as an offensive coordinator, is why I'm going to draft Trey Lance. So that's why I would draft Trey Lance this year.
You better draft him before me.
He's in a good position to succeed.
He's going to.
But we don't know that, though, Kenny.
There's a coach is not going to risk his career, right? Like Kyle Shanahan, who's been a great, offensive guy, and for some bullshit. He's not going to say, Jimmy Garoppolo, I know, it hasn't been good. I'm going to let you go. He's going to say, hey, Trey Lance is ready? Cool. Because he could have kept Jimmy one more year. Right,
yeah,
and know it's not going to work and got Trey Lance more mature, but he knows Trey's ready now.
I'm pretty sure that the decision to go with Trey was not Shanahan's.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that was John Lynch.
I'm pretty sure.
They're lock and step. They're making the same decision. Yes,
they are.
They were divided. One wanted Garoppolo and one wanted Lance.
And Kyle Shanahan didn't want no Garoppolo, bro. After what Garoppolo was doing in the playoffs last year, I watched over because I'm at home, right? I watched the games over. Garoppolo in the playoff he was seeing ghosts. He was just throwing the ball, bro. It's many times he tried to make them lose versus Dallas, like Green Bay. Like he was just throwing the ball into the flats, and it's like, bro, there's nobody out there. Picks. Like, oh, bro.
I don't know. I'm just saying, man. anytime the man starts, he's like a 70% chance of winning the game. So he's a natural born winner. I like Jimmy Garoppolo.
Shanahan's coaching. So anyway,
nah.
Well, all right.
All right, is that all you got, Brian?
Yeah.
Because if that's all you got, I got one alibi.
All right, cool.
I just want to give one more fantasy football tip. Now, when you're drafting tight ends, everyone that we're talking about is great. But just know that the drop-off from the top 2 to 3 tight ends to 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, it's substantial. Like, Mark Andrews had 300 fantasy points. Travis Kelce had 260. And then Dalton Schultz last year had 208. And then the next closest, they were all under 200. Like, between the third tight end and the number 1 tight end was 100 points. It was almost 100 points. Like, that is the fact every year. The number 10 tight end in the league last year was Hunter Henry. Gesicki was 9, and that's with, like, flipping between Tua and whoever else was quarterback for them last year. So that's all I'm saying is some of these low, like you might have a tight end 1 who'd be the 12th tight end, but like you're going to draft them really late. That's why I'm saying if you miss the boat on some of these top guys that could be potential tight end 1s, everyone I listed in my top 5 has potential to be a tight end 1 on their team. Now, when you start looking at these later picks, if you miss out on those top 5, you guys start looking at people that have potential to kind of make that next step. So like someone like Irv Smith, who missed last year, but he was high valued going into the season.
Alberto, because Russell Wilson loves tight ends.
Yep.
Alberto, or another one I like is Pat Freiermuth or whatever. He had a promising year last year, and he's going to be a security blanket for Trubisky or whoever Pickett.
Robert Tonyan, sleeper pick, because those
Cole
targets have to go somewhere.
Yep.
So those are just some thoughts, but just know that
Dawson
if you
Knox.
Dawson Knox, if you miss the boat on these guys, just start looking at potential teams that are going to have high scoring chances. Players like Dawson Knox, even if he only catches 600 yards, if he gets 600 yards, but he's got 12 touchdowns because he's in the red zone every time with the Bills, that might be a player you want to look at. Yep. But that's all I got.
So with that being said, if you don't draft a guy in the first or second round, depending on how you want to do with your tight ends, first to fourth round, right? Where do you draft the tight end at that when it falls off? What's your opinion before we let them go?
Like 8th, 9th round,
8th,
10th.
9th, right? Yeah.
I will fill every other position before I'll fill my tight end. If I don't go after a top tight end.
Top 10. Yep.
This is why on all your, like when you download a cheat sheet or whatever, make sure you tier all your players, like especially the tight end position. And put that group of players where you're like, all right, I love these 4 to 5 tight ends. But once you get close to that mark and that last guy's taken in your tier, and it's like you're in that next tier, it's like, is it even worth it to get it? What's the gap between getting someone like Cole Kmet and Irv Smith, who I can pick up with my last pick? Maybe I'll just pick him up with my last pick. I'll throw Irv Smith on my team, and then that's it. So you got to weigh those pros and cons whenever you're picking, especially it depends on where you pick in the draft. If you're picking first, second, third, or 9, 10, 11, 12, like you're picking late, you know you're going to have to overdraft people because they're not going to be there when you come back around. And then also look at what other people have drafted, because what most people do is they try and fill their starting roster rather than start looking at benches. So if you know like the people between your picks have already picked tight end, maybe you don't take a tight end. You let it go until it comes back to you. But if you know they're going to probably be a run on tight end, they're going to start doing that. You got to look at that stuff when you're drafting.
Yeah, that's smart game plan, man. I know we went over a little bit today, but guess what? Who cares? We are trying to make sure you guys are prepared for the season. I know a lot of you guys are going to be in money leagues, things like that. So we're going to make sure you guys are properly equipped to attack the season. Fantasy and, when you're trying to spend your money in these sports books, right? So as always, we appreciate the love and the support, man. Tap in with us every week. Subscribe, follow us on all the social media. And we'll see you guys next week. Peace.